To truly understand the top symbiotes more terrifying than Venom, we must first delve into the fascinating world of symbiotes and their profound impact on the Marvel Universe. Symbiotes are parasitic alien organisms that bond with host organisms, granting them enhanced powers while feeding off their adrenaline and sometimes overriding their will. This complex relationship between host and symbiote creates endless narratives of conflict, power struggle, and moral ambiguity within the Marvel Universe. Symbiotes play a crucial role in the tapestry of Marvel storytelling, embodying the themes of identity, control, and transformation. Their introduction added layers to traditional superhero narratives by challenging characters to grapple not only with external adversaries, but with their own inner demons. Venom, as perhaps the most iconic symbiote, set the standard for these stories. But it's the symbiotes beyond Venom that push these boundaries further, offering richer, darker tales of terror and consequence. For instance, Carnage, a symbiote bonded with the psychopathic Cletus Cassidy, represents one of the most terrifying manifestations of the symbiote concept. With no moral compass and an insatiable thirst for chaos, Carnage amplifies the horror of what symbiotes can become when paired with an already malevolent host. Another ominous example is Null, the symbiote god, whose ancient powers reflect an even grander scale of terror, challenging entire superhero teams like the Avengers with his dark ambition. There are varied opinions supporting the idea of symbiotes as powerful narrative devices. Some fans and critics argue that they revolutionize conventional superhero stories by integrating horror elements and exploring deeper psychological dynamics, a departure from traditional good versus evil conflicts. However, this integration introduces potential challenges, as it requires balancing horror and empathy, ensuring that stories remain relatable and not overtly nihilistic. Controversies arise surrounding the potential for symbiotes to overshadow character development, often pushing superheroes into repetitive cycles of fighting inner darkness. Detractors argue that over-relying on such narratives might limit creative storytelling. These dynamics are integral to the current topic, as each symbiote's unique influence on characters, themes, and broader story arcs exemplifies how Venom's successors continue to evolve the Marvel lexicon. They highlight the potential for storytelling to explore new territories of fear, power, and introspection, ultimately ensuring that Venom and other symbiotes maintain their status as iconic elements that continually redefine what makes these alien entities so profoundly terrifying. Carnage, born from an unholy union of Venom and the serial killer Cletus Cassidy, represents a terrifying embodiment of chaos and bloodlust, far surpassing that of its progenitor. This symbiote, recognized for its garish red appearance and razor-sharp appendages, doesn't just bond with its host. It amplifies and magnifies the darkest facets of Cassidy's violent psyche. Unlike Venom, who has been portrayed as an anti-hero with a code of conduct, Carnage thrives on pure malevolence and destruction without moral constraints. This unhinged nature makes Carnage one of the most unpredictable and formidable symbiotes in existence, and crucially, more terrifying than Venom. Carnage's introduction to the comics and popular media showcases a crucial escalation in the narrative stakes within the Marvel Universe. While Venom may be driven by his own ethical code and desire for justice, however skewed, Carnage represents unadulterated evil that cannot be reasoned with or contained. He forces heroes like Spider-Man and even Venom himself to face an enemy unbound by any semblance of morality. This narrative importance is underscored in storylines like Maximum Carnage, where even Spider-Man and Venom must team up, setting aside their tumultuous history to control the slaughter Carnage is intent on spreading. A real-world parallel can be seen in discussions of unchecked power or influence and how it can lead to catastrophic results if left unmonitored, akin to Carnage's barbarous exploits in New York City. Additionally, this can be applied metaphorically to societal constructs that become dangerous when the darker side of human nature is allowed to flourish without boundary, like extremism or terrorism. Opinions supporting the fearsome nature of Carnage often cite the character's clear lack of remorse and unbridled penchant for sadism. This is exemplified by fans' appreciation for the character as a villain who pushes heroes to their ultimate limits. However, this intensity creates space for controversies, especially within narratives where violence may seem glorified, leading to debates about representation and responsibility in media. In the broader context of symbiotes, Carnage acts as a pivotal point of comparison. amplifying Venom's inherent ambiguity and making other symbiotes seem tame by contrast. This stark dispositional difference reinforces the terrifying potential of symbiotes in general and fortifies the genre's exploration of identity, morality, and the monstrous potential within us all. Thus, Carnage not only enriches the storyline by embodying absolute terror, but also provides a scaffold upon which other symbiotes can be measured, enhancing the depth and intrigue within the wider symbiotic universe. Toxin, the offspring of Carnage and the third major symbiote following Venom and Carnage, represents a fascinating and complex dynamic in the Marvel Universe. Unlike its predecessors, Toxin forms a unique bond with its host, often teetering between heroism and villainy. The symbiote bonds with Patrick Mulligan, a New York City police officer, creating a partnership that showcases both the deadly potential and the internal struggle of maintaining control over its primal urges. The importance of Toxin in the context of symbiotes being more terrifying than Venom lies in its unpredictable nature. While Venom is often motivated by a sense of vengeance and has developed a semblance of nobility over time, Toxin inherits the chaotic and malevolent tendencies of its parent symbiote, Carnage, while simultaneously being influenced by Mulligan's moral compass. This duality makes Toxin a formidable and unpredictable entity. It challenges the boundaries between good and evil more markedly than Venom ever did. One example of Toxin's deadly potential is in its capability to surpass both Venom and Carnage in strength and power, making it capable of incredible destruction. Another real-world application is seen in storytelling themes that explore the inner conflicts between civilization and savagery, order and chaos. Toxin embodies these dichotomies. The character delves deeper into human psyche, posing questions about our darker natures and the struggle to remain virtuous when faced with power that could easily corrupt. Supporters of the Toxin narrative argue that these complexities add depth to the symbiote lore, allowing for more nuanced storytelling and character development. The duality of Toxin's alliance introduces ethical debates about the nature of good and evil, making it a rich subject for fans and analysts alike. However, there are alternative viewpoints and challenges with the Toxin character. Critics suggest that the moral ambiguity can sometimes lead to inconsistent portrayals, making it difficult to root for or against the character. Furthermore, Toxin's oscillation between hero and villain can dilute the character's impact if not handled with careful narrative balance. Toxin's story interconnects with the broader symbiote lore by emphasizing the genetic lineage and evolving nature of symbiotes. Its influence amplifies the notion that symbiotes are not purely evil, but profoundly shaped by their hosts, further complicating the narrative of what makes one symbiote more terrifying than another. Toxin challenges our understanding of identity, prompting us to question how deep the roots of good and evil truly run within the symbiotic relationship. Anti-Venom, the creature referenced in the heading, is a symbiote in the Marvel Comics universe that offers a unique and terrifying twist on the traditional symbiote narrative. Unlike Venom, who is notorious for bonding with hosts and enhancing their physical abilities while often exacerbating their darker tendencies, Anti-Venom stands out due to its curative properties. Created when Eddie Brock, the original host of Venom, was exposed to Martin Lee's healing powers while Venom antibodies were still present in his system, Anti-Venom emerged as a new, white-bodied symbiote. Its most unsettling ability lies in its capacity to cleanse other symbiotes from their hosts, effectively neutralizing them. The significance of Anti-Venom in the context of discussing symbiotes, more terrifying than Venom, is manifold. While Venom revels in his aggressive tendencies, Anti-Venom poses a threat on a different level. It represents a force that targets and dismantles symbiotes, overpowering their traditional strengths and abilities. This makes Anti-Venom an unpredictable and alarming presence in the symbiote hierarchy. Unlike standard threats that exhibit aggressive hostility, Anti-Venom's terror lies in its potential to cure, eradicate, or invert the very essence of what makes a symbiote formidable. For example, in New Ways to Die, Anti-Venom actively seeks to rid New York of other symbiotes, and even fights to cleanse Spider-Man of his radioactive powers, showcasing its overwhelming control over biological systems. Another instance can be seen when it neutralizes Venom's influence, demonstrating an unmatched dominance in symbiote warfare. These examples illustrate anti-venom's pivotal role as both protector and threat. Opinions about anti-venom's role diverge within the narrative world. Some might see its abilities as beneficial, offering potential salvation from the destructive symbiote menace, while others view it as an existential threat to symbiotes, disrupting their very existence. Challenges arise from this duality. The concept of a healing symbiote invites controversy, as it upends the typical antagonistic portrayal of symbiotes. Moreover, alternative viewpoints might argue about the ethical implications of its curative abilities, considering whether the eradication of another's essential traits is justified. This narrative thread connects back to the larger theme of symbiotes, highlighting the diverse and unpredictable nature of these alien entities. It underscores the idea that the most terrifying symbiotes aren't always the ones with the most brute force, but those that challenge the very foundations of symbiote existence. Therefore, Anti-Venom's storyline enhances the complexity of the symbiote mythos, pushing readers to rethink what truly makes a symbiote terrifying.